So there's no music now. This is our music. Go ahead.
That's okay.
Yeah.
See, the thunder's right on cue. So David and I, we spoke a little bit about David's architectural styles, some of his influences, where he came from in terms of schooling and education, some of his travels, and some of the most outstanding countries that he's ever visited that seem architecturally significant. He mentioned one of them was Australia. And when you look at David's work, you can see that it really is not like anyone else's in the entire city, and even this area for that matter. It's very daring, was the adjective that I use, and it's really cool to hear his point of view on direction and what others may seem to think of as daring. To David is more just a practice of process. So he's very in tune with his process and his team's process. He's also very in tune with the rules of logic and building science that he works within, and very comfortable with them. So in any given project that he's involved with, he's embodying all of those variables and putting them all on the table as possible options and opportunities to explore. And he's just trying to find the right ones specifically for the lay of the land and also the clients that he's working for. So it was really cool hearing about his process. We also talked a little bit about what David looks for in a build partner and what helps a good natural evolution from design to build to finished product, and all the teamwork that goes into that, all the players and what they really have to do to make all that work. I'll give you a little bit of a hint and say that listening is one of the key components to any good building partner for David Weber. In addition, we talked a little bit about the rhyme and rhythm of Weber Studio and their style and what they bring to the table when you're working with them. And some of the consistencies and the elegance that they bring, some of the calmness and zen that they bring, some of the minimalism attributes that I really appreciate. And in general, I'm just going to say that they're one heck of an architecture firm to work with. They are really fun, really exciting, really fresh, but at the same time very esteemed, very reputable, and very experienced. So again, super happy to have David on the show. He's become a really good friend of mine. I really appreciate his outlook on life, and I think he's an esteemed member of our building community and of our architectural community, and I think he's got a lot to teach us all. I'm really looking forward to sharing what's inside the mind of David Weber with all of you.
Call ourselves regional minimalists.
Okay.
Or we sometimes will call ourselves conceptual architects, meaning that we try to approach every project not with any particular style that we're trying to go after, but we really just want whatever the architecture, whatever the program is, and whatever the site is, and whatever the region is, they give us all the answers. We don't really try and we don't go in with an idea about what we want to be and try and manhandle it into that. We just sort of let it come out.
Right.
Minimalism generally means not having things present that aren't necessary to serve a particular purpose. Whether it's an architectural detail, whether it's a piece of furniture that you don't need, get rid of it. Whether it's a whole bunch of clothes you don't wear anymore, get rid of it. I like everything to be tidy. Like, why do you have visual clutter? It's essentially that, and it's like, for me, I guess it's a way of life too. I think about it more in architecture, but I'm sort of that way in everything. Even the way I eat. I'm one of these people that likes to have pretty much the same lunch every day, and it's like raw food and raw veggies and fish. So I'm just. Some people would call it boring. I call it zen. So right now we're doing a renovation, a full house renovation to a mid-century, modern, fantastic house that was done by Gamal Rossner, who was a famous architect that taught at UT, famous local architect. So he designed this house and we're renovating it. We were thrilled just to get picked to work on it. We've got a client who's wanting to do an addition to his house for a hi-fi listening room and a photo studio. So it's an all-glass structure with aluminum louvers on the outside. You know how I like aluminum.
And glass.
Yeah, and glass. And it's a little tiny addition. And then for him and his wife, we're also doing a little casita out in Wimberley area that's kind of almost, it looks like a caveman steel, and it's really primitive. and really wonderful. The glass and steel, but with big rocks stacked up like a cairn. Everything we do is a little bit different.
David and I worked on our North Coast Creek Mamana project, which is probably one of the most outstanding portfolio pieces in my entire repertoire. And David is just somebody that knows no limits and no boundaries, and the same for his architectural studio. So it was quite the honor to have David as my guest on the show, and great to wrap it up in this beautiful Austin skyline background. Unfortunately, we had a bit of thunderstorms and pretty hardcore rain and even some hail, so we brought it inside on the lounge sofas and missed out on a little bit of this beautiful background.
I don't think of myself as daring. I never have. I never think of myself as being risk tolerant, but everybody describes me as being pretty risk tolerant, which I never understand, because to me, everything I'm doing seems fairly safe and it all makes sense. So there's nothing daring or risky about what I'm doing. It takes sometimes an outside point of view to tell you what you look like. But the reason, so I love hearing that I'm daring, because I always worry, I think it's our job to push the boundaries and figure out what really should be. Is this really the limit of what we're supposed to be able to do? Is this really how we're supposed to get to the next level? You can't move to the next level unless you're willing to push up to the edge of the next level. And I just think from the position of being a designer or how we construct things, we're not going to figure out new ways of doing things unless we bridge across that gap of the unknown. And somebody's got to do it. And the reason it never daunts me is because I feel like, look, I've got a decent noggin. My parents taught me how to think. If you just think through the issues and plan how to solve them, it's not very scary. It doesn't feel very daring. And it's surprising to me how often I will feel like I'm just thinking it through, I'm just solving it, and people will say that I've had other people say that we're daring, where we do things a little bit outside the box. And it just never occurs to me that we do, because we're working well within my knowledge base and my comprehension. It's probably a very complicated answer, but
no, I think it's a good answer.
It's a huge compliment, because the daring people are the ones that are helping take us to the next level. When you're daring, though, the downside of that is that people don't know quite what to expect. There's every time it's going to be a little bit unique, and it's very scary for a lot of people.
Right.
It never occurs to me that it's scary, because to me it's all logic.
Right.
But it's amazing how my marketing department, which is me, my marketing department hates it that we're daring. Because there's some architects and some builders where you know what you're going to get every time. And architecture is a little bit more notable in that way. A good builder is a good builder. But an architect, there are a lot of architects that they have a real clear brand and people know what they're getting, and they don't always know that. There's a lot of suspension of disbelief. There's a lot of faith that they have to have that it's going to come out already. And they're going to love their end product. We're lucky because most of the time they do, but it's hard to market something that's purposefully very diverse looking and diverse acting and diverse function. We really pay attention to what our clients are asking us to do, to what our builders say is hard to do or not hard to do. You really want to see and understand what it is what the challenges are, and then we really want to solve them for them. And we love that, and I think that's a hallmark of our work. You're right, we're really approachable as well. If you just take a look at what we're trying to do, and then ask questions, we're going to be really quick to try and help people understand.
Chrome or nickel?
Chrome. Chrome.
Here's maybe a little bit.
Nickel's fancy pants. We don't need to do nickel all the time.
Overhangs or no overhangs?
Overhangs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're stupid if we don't do overhangs. This is Texas. What are you talking about?
Okay, so on that one, I'm going to jump in and say, some of the stuff y'all pull off has the look of no overhangs. Y'all do have a ton of glass, and y'all do definitely have some of these walls and edges that are pretty hardcore striking and not necessarily fully overhanging.
I think that's really true. That's always a challenge, and I think we're exploring that challenge all the time, because a lot of times architecture with overhangs is it can bespeak a certain aesthetic that people might not be willing to go for, or it doesn't achieve that minimalism that we even want. So we actually do have to try to be strategic all the time, and we're always coming up with new ways of doing it. So
I think you're smart about it.
So that's another thing that's really important to us is that every detail is thought through at the same level and in a way that it talks to every other detail in the building that it is occupying. Because to me, the consistency is super, super important. It doesn't have to be super high end. It doesn't have to, and even if it's super low end, we just want it to be really consistent and rigorous. And it's funny because we just submitted a house for the AIA Homes Tour. We were on the AIA Homes Tour last year with a house that was intensely rigorous and minimalist with a certain language going on. And this year, the house is completely different, and yet you can sort of tell that the same machinery created this project that we just submitted because every detail, we try to carry every detail through. We have an answer for every condition that falls in line with the overarching vision of the house. So it's just part of the way we approach it. And I would hate it if all of our projects were detailed the same and conceptualized the same. I'd be bored. In fact, I'm bored just saying that in a sentence. So I like each project's concept being what it is and then figuring out the details that work for that project. So anyway, that's great.
It becomes very refined.
Well, thank you.
And it really stands out. And I would say that's one of the things that when I look at your projects, I see this level of consistency and the attention paid to it and the effort that went into it. And the corresponding calm that is created from
Thanks.
that experience.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's such a huge compliment. Norway is the country right now that's doing really amazing things. Australia has some really amazing stuff going on. Oh, and Canada. Canada and Australia are countries with small populations doing outsized work or having outsized influence in the work that they're doing. The climate there is so harsh that they have to respond to the climate law, and they do a lot with solar control. And because it's got a fairly mild climate, there's a lot of indoor-outdoor living, and that transition between indoor and outdoor is just a huge part of their architectural heritage.
Ideally, a seamless transition.
Yeah, it's exactly every single time. Exactly. I think tech is going to help us all be better users of energy, our buildings in general, and it's. But right now we're not really using it as well, and right now it's still too out of reach for most people's budgets. But technology is the key to making advances. However, even as we're looking at technology, we absolutely have to embrace the most basic technologies that have existed for millennia. And a lot of people will pick technology at the expense of old knowns, but we need to make sure we work within the old knowns first, and then technology is an additive. It's an extra benefit. I think we're excited by technology and interested in technology, but we don't want to just adopt it blindly. It's got to have a purpose. It's got to have a purpose that we think is ultimately going to do good. And some technologies do, but some technologies don't. But I also will say that sometimes you have to try out a technology to see if it's doing what you want.
I agree.
So you have to experiment. I think there's a lot of chemical sensitivity that people are starting to have, which means sort of undoing some of the design layers we've created over the years. Right now we've got buildings that are made of layers and layers and layers of things packed with chemicals. And we're trying to, I think we need to back off and do a much lower technology construction, like you might frankly see in very poor countries. And I think that coupled with super high technology that can help us use energy and minimize our use of G's and any sort of smart home system and lighting controls where they can control lights. They can also control shades and things that naturally can help block sun. And also kind of know when you're using this space to be able to ratchet up the temperature, use of air conditioning or not, having things properly daylighted, which is more of a basic technology. I just feel like high technologies will help us streamline the way we use what should be a very low technology construction in the first place, as much as is feasible in a climate.
I love that answer. I feel like that's taking us back to where we come from and what we are, And I think that it's taking technology to bring it all full circle. And I'm really excited about your statement as far as minimizing the chemicals and trying to rid our homes and simplify our homes from that respect. And that's definitely the next option.
I would love to do that.
We are.
Yes, sign me up. Let's do it.
Yes. So hemp could be something that falls in line with that. There's lots of.
Oh, that's right. You
Yeah.
were doing
There's the hemp stuff.
Yeah.
So with regards to that, something that might interest you is the whole idea of having healing spaces. So we've got a lot of Wi-Fi, electromagnetic fields. Some of the stuff that sketches some people out. Other stuff science says it's very safe. But regardless, we've got a lot of new technologies that we haven't really had the opportunity to study for, for a very long time at all. And so something I really like the concept
and sustainable technology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really like the concept of healing spaces within a home. So maybe some of it's very typical, but then you have these other places that are extremely ancient and archaic, and that's where you go lay down and sleep and stuff like that, and let your body heal and recover, and then step out into this beautiful future world that we live in.
I think the main problem is that we don't listen to each other, and when we talk to each other, we don't talk to each other in a way that responds to what somebody has just asked or told them. And I think we're destroying ourselves because whether it's and I think it's in, I look at it in our building, in our constructions we're doing. I think that things only work when people actually listen to each other and actually respond with the thing that was requested. And that's when you make great stuff, whether it's architecture, whether it's a building, whether it's a community, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a political environment. It's all the same ingredients. I love it. I'll tell you the characteristics that you all have in common. One, that you respect what we bring as architects and really do understand that there is what we're trying to create in terms of space and functionality. So you start off by understanding that and appreciating it. The second thing is you're good listeners. You'll listen to what is actually being requested by the client, by the architect, by a sub, whatever. You'll listen, and I think that's a key to a good service provider, period. And then, sort of like you were saying earlier, after listening to everything, you're not afraid to tell us your opinion. And you have an opinion, and you share it with us. And you're not forceful about it, but you put it out there as yet another data point. And then at the end of that, you're open to a full discussion about it and a way to make a decision about how to move forward. And once that decision is made, whether it's by you or by the client or by the architect, you don't resent it. You get on board and you do it. Just like I think any good partner should, whether it's a marriage or any relationship, or a business relationship or architect-builder relationship. You talk out all the issues, you tell everybody, you share your opinions, then you all make a decision on how to proceed, and then you get in line. It's a team effort. So the best builders are really people that are just good people, that have good life traits, and you're definitely one of the people that we would classify as in that group, and we look forward to getting to do another project with you because of that. So.
Well, thank you so much. I really take pleasure in that overall experience of forum and that exchange of ideas. And just like you said, I don't have to run it, I don't have to dictate it, I don't even have to lead it. I just am happy to be sitting at the table, and listening and heard, and I'm happy to come up with solutions that at the end of the day are going to be beneficial to our clients and hopefully our community as well. So.
In my life, these are the things I've tried to create. Having an opinion, doing things that to me seem logical and obvious, and having other people respect it because it pushes the boundary. And you're telling me that all the things that I've been trying to do, it sounds like maybe we're pulling off the train. So that's a huge compliment.
I really think you are. I'm just